Alright, so in a recent case study, there was a father who's a boomer, as in a generation boomer, and the son is a millennial, between Gen Z and millennial. Typical family business, son is second generation, the father has two sons, it is into the manufacturing unit, and the father has worked with his own hands, he's worked really hard, and he has a typical work ethic. How Mr. Murthy suggests or tells the youth of our country to work 70-hour weeks. Son here is well studied, well read, done his education from also overseas, well traveled. Father is hell bent on his own ways, on certain, systems and processes. I mean, he's definitely built a business so that the son can go and study abroad and bring in that kind of experience and that kind of work ethic back to his business. Well-to-do family. Old way of working here. Son has new ideas, son tries to bring in those new ideas, but then there is, I would say, a sense of mismatch. If you think that you can relate to this scenario, because I would say 70 to 80% of my consultations here are based on a very similar dynamic. And in case you want to connect with me for a one-to-one consultation, please feel free to reach out. There's a number given below in the description. And I also visit your place of work where this is ideally a half day to a full day visit where we look at the different ways of working, the different dynamics of work, and then we tailor-made a solution for you and your, I wouldn't say your company, I would say your family business, because in a typical family business is also business and family is also business. So, you're in business the moment you wake up till the time you go to sleep. Also, I invite you to book a free brainstorming session with me where we get to know each other, and it's a very, brief call. Yeah, we just brainstorm on what really is going on. And also, in case you're here for Gurgaon property updates, make sure you check out the Sunday series on my channel. And in case you're next gen in the family business, we can subscribe to my Wednesday video updates where family business videos are tailor-made for you. Okay, so what happens when father is hell-bent on his ways, this old way of working, son is bringing in new ideas. Eventually what happens is when his ideas, when his thoughts, when his leadership, or when the son's how do I say, जो उसका नया जिगरा जो आता है ना, the young blood आता है, और जब वो entertain नहीं होता, जब वो execute नहीं होता, तो the son goes silent. वो भी मतलब लगा हुआ है. And this applies to you if you're above 30 years of age. You've worked minimum 5 to 6 years in the business. This can't be like you've just joined the business and you're less than a year or 2 years in the business and you're going around making changes. No, that will not work. You got to be at least 30 years of age. When I say 30, I mean you ideally completed your graduation at the age of 21, maybe gone for masters for 2 years, so 23, 24-ish. So ideally gives you a 6-year window to work in the family business. This would work for you. So when the son goes silent, the father ideally goes and says, he's not producing results. Maybe he says that to the mother, or maybe he says that to his brother who's also in the business, or maybe to his friend or his एक होता है ना close relation या भाई या friend या एक confidant जिससे आप बात कर सकते हो, अपना share कर सकते हो business. तो father उसके पास जाता है, कहता है ये जो मेरा बेटा है, let's call the son Rahul here, कि राहुल तो he's not producing results anymore. What should I do? He's not listening to me. Now here I am inviting all the fathers to reflect upon कि वो 6 साल से रिजल्ट प्रोड्यूस कर रहा था और अचानक 6 साल बाद क्या हुआ कि वो रिजल्ट प्रोड्यूस करना बंद कर दिया उसने. What could have happened? I would like you to introspect rather than go to your colleague or friend or जो भी आपके confident उसमें हैं बंदे confidential जिससे आप बातें करते हैं, कि उनसे आप बातें करें बेटे के बारे में कि he is not producing results, because you need to introspect as a father कि what went wrong. A father is head of the family and the father is also head of the business here, I'm assuming. And given that you are the head of the business, whatever is going wrong, if an employee is not performing in your business, who's responsible for that? You have to figure that out rather than blame the employee कि ये result produce नहीं कर रहा. बातें करने वाले तो बहुत हैं यहाँ पे. A lot of people keep on talking कि result नहीं produce हो रहे, या मेरा फलाना पेट खराब था, या मेरा तबीयत खराब थी, मैं हॉस्पिटल में था. बहाने तो अनगिनत हैं अगर आप फैमिली बिजनेस में हो और डील कर रहे हो. You have to figure out why is this person not performing, and if this person happens to be your son, sir, this is a big red flag. And the red flag is not on the son, it is a red flag on the father, on the father's performance, on the father's review system. Let's take the example of Indian roads. Indian roads में भी अगर कोई बड़ी गाड़ी छोटी गाड़ी को मार देती है, हमेशा गलती जो है वो बड़ी गाड़ी की होती है. अगर एक बड़ी गाड़ी साइकिल को या टू व्हीलर को हिट करती है, who's at fault there? It's always the big car. So even the same applies here in terms of a family ki whenever the younger person is not performing well, it is the elder one's job, duty to introspect. Why is he not performing? What is going wrong here? So the fathers today need to ask, how can I empower my son? What can I do so my son stays empowered? अब होता क्या है यार, ये जो टिपिकल बेबी बूमर्स जनरेशन है ना, ये जनरेशन है 1950 टू 19 लेट 60s तक वाली. ये जनरेशन और जो हमारी मिलेनियल जनरेशन है या जो जेन जी जनरेशन है, इसमें ऑलरेडी कहने को तो एक जनरेशन का फ़र्क है, बट थॉट प्रोसेस वाइज, बिकॉज द इंडियन इकोनॉमी वाज लिबरेटेड इन द ईयर in the early 1990s, it has grown with such velocity. The mindset of people has grown with such velocity that the boomers are finding it hard to catch up. And because they're finding it hard to catch up, they are feeling safer when they are in control. But the whole point of them being in control is that the next generation is feeling suppressed. कि यार तुमने उसको पढ़ाया लिखाया, अच्छा कॉलेज भेजा, क्यों भेजा? स्कूल के बाद डायरेक्टली बिजनेस में डालते और तुम ही देते ट्रेनिंग. अगर तुमने उसको बाहर भेजा, you have made them worth something, worth having an opinion. Then those opinions, when the son is bringing back in the business, need to be, appreciated and at the same time given a hand to execute and implement. Now, if you're a boomer here, you're ideally between the ages of 60 to 75, right? So at this age, you have to get that you do not, as a father, okay, if you're a father between the ages of 60 to 75 and you're watching this, you have to get that you do not have the physical capacity, the physical energy, or even the mental energy to compete with today's generation with the kind of, if they are put in the right direction, that is. If today's generation is put in the right direction, they will be 10 times faster and more efficient than the boomer generation. They have access to the latest tech and they can do it with one hand. How many of you have experienced your elder generation? And I might be trolled a lot for what I'm going to say कि यार पापा ने ही तो सब बनाया है, पापा ने ही तो सब किया है, पापा ने ही तो हमें यहाँ तक लेके आए हैं. भाई मैं कह रहा हूँ बहुत अच्छी बात है आप यहाँ तक लेके आए हैं. अब क्या? Where do we go from here? यहाँ तक तो पहुँच गए. Now where do we go from here? आज जो कट थ्रोट कॉम्पिटिशन है, and be it in any industry, सर्विस इंडस्ट्री, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री, आज के लेवल, आज की डेट में जिस लेवल का मेंटल स्ट्रेस है, जो सोशल मीडिया पे आप देख रहे हैं, वो तो सिर्फ एक रोजी पिक्चर दिखाई जा रही है. द अर्लियर जनरेशन, they had things much more at ease because there was no social media, there was no such thing to be compared from, and the ease of business then, the margins then were much better. Now please don't get me wrong कि मैं कह रहा हूँ यार कि it's not like we shouldn't feel grateful. We are very grateful as the next generation. Next generation is, I think, the fact that they have a platform to launch from. It's amazing. But वो launch करने के लिए platform तो बना दिया, अब launch भी तो करो. अब होता क्या है, typically आप अगर यहाँ पे generational difference की अगर बात करूँ मैं, father's control is good for the company. ठीक है, अगर company है, अगर हम एक, if we talk about, if you fly a kite, जो kite है वो हमेशा एक डोर से मांझा या चक्की जो कहते हैं उसको, जो इससे काइट उड़ती है, जिससे काइट कनेक्टेड है. नाउ द काइट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू सोर हायर, मगर if the control is too tight, it will never soar higher. So you have to keep letting go of the control, and you will absolutely relate to this if you know how to fly a kite, and if you have flown a kite in your early childhood days, and even if you still do, that you have to keep letting go of control and then pick a little and then let go of more control for the kite to keep getting higher, keep getting higher, keep getting higher. So a lot of people, you know, in India especially, this is the Indian conditioning. भैया dad knows best. पापा को जो पापा करेंगे ना वो सही करेंगे. Dad is the right. He's always right. Yeah, we need to ask. This is how we have grown up. And yes, dad knows best, but dad knows what is best for him, you know. And dad knows how the son will fit in to get him what is best for him. Are you getting? Stay with me here for a bit. So dad knows what is best for dad, and dad knows how the son will fit in to get dad what is best for dad. Maybe what dad thinks is best for the son is not what the son thinks is best for the son. And there comes a time, which is around the age of 30, once you're 5, 6, 7 years in the business, that the son would know exactly what is good for him, what is not good for him, and go hereafter. And this is the case with the next generation in the family business, and it is like a pandemic where they are, you know, so suppressed, the next generation, that they are absolutely, you know, gone silent now. And then they wonder, why are we, you know, having so much to drink every day? I will not get there, you know, in the mental aspect of it, because this is also having a direct impact on the mental health of these sons. And in case you're married, then you're having an impact on the marriage of the son as well, which is a totally different trajectory that we are going to. But let's conclude here. And I would like to conclude by inviting the fathers. You know, if you're a baby boomer, आपको ये सोचना है आज की 60, 65, 70, 75 साल की उम्र में सर, कि मैं अपने बेटे को एम्पावर कैसे करूं, मैं ढील कैसे दूं, यहाँ पे ढील दे के मैं इसको कैसे और ग्रो करूं, एंड कैसे मैं इसको आगे बढ़ने दूं. How can I fuel his fire? You know, that is something that I think that's my son while we talk about it. My little baby boy knocking at the door right now. So I think this is it for me. And in case this video was, you know, it made sense to you, share with someone you think you needed. Give it a thumbs up. And in case you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. And in case you want to get in touch with me for a one-to-one consultation, feel free to reach out. And I look forward to seeing you in person someday. Bye.